Hello everybody and welcome to the 2021 contest portfolio results. So in the previous videos we went through each category, and then in the black and white video we covered also the best photo of the contest. This is the overall best portfolio. So I'm going to leave you here on the splash screen while I explain the way I'm going to do this video. This is, as you know, for everybody who submitted a photo in all 5 categories, which there were 9 people? Yes, 9 people who did that. So we're going to go through these just in the order in which they dropped when I did my file folder search for the people in the portfolios. And then at the end, I will tell you who the honorable mentions are and the overall winner. That's right. The winner is going to get named somewhere in the lineup and not know until the end that they won. So much suspense. It's going to be great. Okay. Now, and of course, as a reminder, the prize for this is the 12 by 12 photo book. All right. So the first portfolio we're going to look at as a whole is from Aravindan. Now, I think one of the good things about seeing the portfolios from the photographers as a whole instead of just their photo of that subject in with all the others is you can see how the work from across all 5 of their submittals worked together. Aravindan provided an incredibly strong portfolio, and it was, the whole thing had this sort of like surrealist feel in places, and then this gritty, tangible, puts you in the moment feel in some of the other images. Like there were all 4 of the 5 images in here are really, truly, stunningly captivating. And then the one that I was I gravitated to less was the red one. And I think that's just a matter of the image structure in it, with the bird wing in front being a distracting element for me. But the other 4 photos, honestly, if I had taken or made these 4 images, I think they probably would have all 4 made it into my top 20 for the year. They're really fantastic pieces of work. So really, really great overall portfolio. Next up, we'll take a look at Richard Mander, who provided, without a doubt, the best cat photo of the year. This one right here. And the way that we're going to go through, by the way, the portfolio is the first photo we see is going to be my favorite from that portfolio. And then the other 4 are just whatever order the video software decided to organize them in. So this photo of the cat at the very beginning, really great, really good interaction between the cat and the camera, which makes it a very, very good, an engaging image. So his other work also pretty well held up in different ways, and I really did enjoy. I think the 3 cat photos in here, by the way, were all in different ways very interesting and very well structured. This next portfolio is from Diego Leone, who submitted one of the most captivating images of the contest, by the way. And we're going to start right here with the nighttime street scene again, which is just a phenomenally interesting image and just a joy to look at. So again, another one that if I had taken this, guaranteed this would have been in my top 20 of last year. So just a really great image. And every image here, one of the things that really struck me about Diego's, if you look at all 5 of the images, they're all street photos. They're all taken out and about, and all of them are in some different way a reaction to what's there, and like street photos generally are. One of the things that I'm really interested in with this portfolio is how different all 5 of them are. Same genre, 5 completely different takes. And so completely different that it's not like there's even a ton of similarity between them. So really good range in the approach to the street photography in this portfolio. Next up, Samuel West provided another one of my very favorite photos of this contest, which is this first one right here. And again, another one that had I taken this would absolutely have been in my top 20 this year. I really think this is just a fantastic capture for all of the reasons we went into in the video where we discussed why it placed the way that it did. One of the points I wanted to make here is that all 4 of these images are completely different. They're all different approaches in terms of image structure, image style, and image subject, and also image genre. All 4 of them are different, and I think that is really fantastic. That kind of range, all 5 of them rather, I meant to say, are different. But that kind of range is really hard to have as a photographer. So when a portfolio of 5 images can display 5 different types of photos, that's really a skill that's very hard to learn, and it's really well done. In Rod Stewart's portfolio, we're going to start off with the reflection photo, which I think is his strongest of the portfolio as well. I was very pleased with the result here and the work that clearly went into creating the image, as I think I said in great length in the reflection video. And then 3 of the other 4 videos images were double exposures, which were executed in different ways. All of them could have been good entries into the double exposure category, except for of course, the shadow silhouette one. But one of the things that I liked about this portfolio a lot was how 4 of the 5 images clearly were built around concepts and built to address those. But then what I would argue, the unifying theme between all 5 of the images is family. And I hate to sound like a Fast and the Furious movie, but every single one of them has something to do with a different way that family is structured or has changed over time. And like I just said in the previous, in Sam West's portfolio review, being able to do 5 things differently is very strong. Being able to do 5 things in a theme, especially if there's some variation in them, but keeping to a theme and thinking in terms of projects, and that's a photographer's mindset. This is a project I'm working on. This is what I want to accomplish with this project, and here are the ways that I'm going to do it. So that project could be, I want to do 100 photos or 50 photos, or pick a number of photos about this content or this subject, or I want to create a portfolio that says this message or displays this thing. So, for instance, someone who didn't enter this contest, I was reading there about work they were doing where they were using pinhole cameras to document pollution across their country. And that's another take on a portfolio. Using your work to create a message across many, many images is a hard thing that a lot of photographers really never do well. So good work on that. Chris May provided a phenomenal portfolio. It was very interesting to look at this across the different categories because, again, each of them has a slightly different take on the subjects, right? And they're all different styles. So my favorite was the heron photo. I think this was just a spectacularly good photo and really a great use of structure and color and the subject placement across the board. Wonderful photo. If I had taken this, probably would have been in my top 5 for last year. And then the rest of Chris's portfolio is also really good with a really good composition, a really good eye for the image structure, and a good eye for creating images that convey the subject and convey something about the subject. So really, really strong and mature work here. Danny Fluellen gave us the next portfolio, which was another portfolio that is really good in its diversity of photos. Color, black and white, motion blur, sharp images, just really each image in its own way is very captivating. And one thing I really liked was the way that light is. And there are 2 images in this that showed internal frame lighting, and both of them were done differently. The photo of the concert is lit from behind. The photo with the angel's headstone is lit from below. It's the same concept of lighting within the frame, done completely differently with much different results, both in terms of aesthetics and the way that the image, or the image, the emotion rather, that's what I'm looking for. The emotion that the image evokes in the viewer. So every one of the photos that Danny submitted will or should have some sort of emotional evocation in the viewer. And that's something that is really challenging to do as a photographer, is to consistently have work that evokes emotion in the people who see it. Frank Wooters also provided a really good and diverse portfolio. And this is one thing I think that I was really interested in, by the way, across all the portfolios we saw, really diverse work. So Frank's photo of the lanterns on the lake, or the lamps, however, whatever, it's kind of a little bit hard to tell, was my favorite of his portfolio. And it really shows a good use of image structure and lighting and darkness, and just, it's one that I really looked at for a long time and really enjoyed. And if we look at his other work, all of it is work that really kind of forces the viewer to take their time looking at it to really understand it. All of them have a lot going on in them. The multiple exposure is structured with God only knows how many exposures, and it, I called it chaos in chaos as a compliment, by the way, in the multiple exposure video, and it was really, it's really a stunningly good example of that. And then with the dancing photo is another really good use of angle and focus, and another photo that would be very, very well loved hanging on a wall. So again, all 5 photos, really good, really fun to look at, really exceptionally well done photos. And then the last one here before we get to the winner, Tim Peters sent in 5 black and white photos. Might have been the only all black and white portfolio. I should know this. We literally just went over them. Anyway, really good work again. Now there were all of them were different again. All different in structure, style, content, and approach. And I do think that the one of the war reenactment is by far and away the strongest of the portfolio, with a pretty decent second place there being the double exposure of the moonshot. Both of those were really good photos in different ways. And I think that one of the things that I really liked about this portfolio is it showed such a diversity of subject and approach to photography, shooting times, and things like that. Just, it was one of these ones that as I went through it, it's like, oh, I figure the portfolio is going to look like that. Oh no, it looks different. And it kept me guessing every time as to what the photos were going to look like. So those are all the portfolio entries we had. There were 3 honorable mentions that I think were absolutely outstanding. And they were Frank's, which was, as we talked about, just a great and diverse portfolio. And that really makes it a good honorable mention. Danny Fluellen provided another stunningly good portfolio that is very honorable mention worthy, and clearly has a number of images that were thought out well before execution. The third and final honorable mention is Aravindan, who provided a beautifully surrealistic and just stunning portfolio. And wow, just one of my favorites of the contest. This was a really hard decision to pick the best portfolio, and it came down to Aravindan's and the winner, who was Chris May. But I also found that Chris's photo really gave a good sense of place, each one of them, and they all felt uniform, completely different in style and approach, but four of the 5 really feel like Chicago photos. And knowing Chicago's open spaces, I also recognize that the Heron photo is from Chicago because, like I said in that video, I think I have stood in that exact same spot at some point in my life, having lived there for 20-something years. Even though all of Chris's photos were different, they all, you can tell by looking at them, were done by the same voice, by the same creative voice. Same thing, by the way, with all of the honorable mentions. So that's the portfolio prize, and congratulations to all of the winners throughout this year's contest. Thank you guys very much. The quality of images submitted for this contest this year were really, really good. We had fewer than last year, but the quality, you guys really reached for the challenge that this contest was designed to present and really met it. So I was very pleased with the work that everybody sent in across the board. Wonderful, wonderful photos. And I'm personally very touched to see that so many people sent in so many good photos, and like you listened to me talk. Like, I can't tell you how much it means to me to see that the people who like this channel are such good photographers. So thank you very much, and I will see you again in the next video very soon.